think for me, it was just the people. The people that I've met over the course of a decade plus have just been so genuine and so helpful. And I wouldn't still be here today with this organization if I didn't meet so many people that are just genuinely interested in helping others become competent professionals. So that's why NCMA for me. I think having a certification really can set you apart when you are looking for a different opportunity in an organization. But for me, I think that teaching is one of the best ways to learn. So leading those study groups and having to immerse myself really deeply in the certification content has just helped my career immensely by having that level of comfort in navigating the FAR and the SIMBOK. So for me, it's been super important in just giving myself that ability to advance, knowing that these are resources that are here for me and helping others get certifications as well and seeing their careers grow. So the research process, I think, is something that's really, really important, and it adds a level of credibility to the certification so that we're not just getting certifications and then not doing anything for the next, 5, 10, 20 years. We've got to have the continuous learning. So attending different trainings, conferences to get those CPEs to be recertified. And most recently, you can do a couple of scarier things to get CPEs, like leading a conference presentation. So I've kind of delved into that. So I think the recertification process is an important one, and it helps keep propelling you in your career so you don't get complacent. I got really involved with my local chapter at first, and so I've developed some really, really deep relationships there, developed friendships with folks in the CPCM study groups, CFCM study groups, but I was also a member of NCMA's Contract Management Leadership Development Program. So you get some really deep connections with others in that program, both those that are in your cohort and in other cohorts. There's this network there. So I love connecting with other CMLDPs and different folks at the conferences. I'm a CMLDP mentor right now, and my mentee is about to graduate in July. And, there's really just some wonderful people in this organization that want to give back, help others, and keep the profession going. So I really, really just love it. And I'm now at the national level, going on the governance and ethics committee in this upcoming program year. So there's some pretty exciting things that are going on, but it all started with getting certified and keeping me interested in having to get those CPEs to keep my certification active. Yes, I think at first when I looked at the SIMBOK, I wasn't quite sure how it was going to relate to me. It seemed a little bit more like a textbook from one of my MBA programs. And I think the further and further I get in my career, I can use it as a resource to make sure that you're stepping back from what you're doing in your day-to-day job and making sure that you don't get too lost up in the mechanics of some of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis. It starts with leadership, right? That's the first section in the SIMBOK, and leadership is super important for everything that you're doing in your organization. Making sure that you're looking at things holistically. The decisions that you make today are going to affect the next phase. Okay, how am I bidding this proposal is going to affect how the program operates. How am I operating the program is going to affect the closeout. It's all working together. So I think the SIMBOK is something that I utilize now more than ever as I've advanced in my career. Yes, several years ago, I was working on a pretty challenging program, and we couldn't figure out how we were going to get it done within the constraints that we had. The customer didn't think that it was possible either. And I did some digging, reread the contract over and over again, looking for some kind of margin, and came up with a kind of unorthodox or creative solution to this. And I presented it to our contracting officer, and they paused and they said, "Let me think about it." And they ran it up their channel and they said, okay. And they agreed to this creative contract modification change, which allowed us to proceed, deliver on time, and actually gain the entire planned revenue of the contract. So for me, that was super successful. And it was something that if I hadn't had that comfort level with the FAR and understanding that there is room for creativity in between all those regulations, I don't think I would have been brave enough to propose something like that. So that's one of my proudest accomplishments. Just do it. Just do it. There's never really going to be a good time to add something to your plate. Um, we're all very, very busy, and it is difficult to study for any exam, even if it's something that you think that you do on a day-to-day basis for your job. Um, but if it's something that you really want to do, find a study group, find an accountability partner. There are a ton of resources that NCMA offers at the headquarters level and at different chapter levels online. Um, and make it happen for yourself, right? There are a lot of opportunities that are out there, and having one of these NCMA certifications can definitely set you apart from the next person. And it can be a career defining decision. So take the challenge, and there are people here that are willing to help you along the way, and I'm one of them.